So this is a water wheel with 8 legs assembled and the basic undercoat on. Strange, in Taiwan you can't actually get primer. It's very hard to buy primer or indeed undercoat of any sort. And they basically said, oh, put 2 or 3 coats of gloss on. Which is bizarre, but apparently it's the way they do things here. So I've made it so far, and I'm very close to completion, and yet the problems are mounting up, and I'm not even sure whether it's actually feasible, worth continuing. At the least, it's an interesting prototype. So it's assembled here, but if we look at this, we give it a spin. See how it's banging against the wall there? So it's coming on here, and then it's going in like that, which is a problem because the wall of the water race goes straight down and then it comes out. So you've got a curved thing there at the bottom. So I've got a curved thing, and then my blades are curving in the other way. We're going to have a major problem, especially once I wake these little babies up. Okay. So come on like that, and by the time I get down here, it's just way too far in. So I'm not sure what to do about that. I'm not entirely sure even how that's happening. But I was thinking perhaps this shelf is not particularly square. So let's try it on that chest of drawers. Show you what I've got so far. So looking side on, this is what we've got. We've got that, which is going to be bolted onto the wall there, and then you've got this. This turns around, which turns this wheel. Doesn't that look fugly? I'd like to have a little disc or something to put on the top of that and paint that so it doesn't look quite so ugly. Used to be a wheel like that, but I thought I'd just drill a hole through the middle of it and bolt that on, but the bolt is too short, so I had to drill the whole centre out and then redo it. On the other side, if you can see, there's that bolt through there, the disc on the other side there. And I've given it to the guys, and they've welded this on beautifully, so that can just be bolted straight down. It does actually work, and it's quite quiet. So if that's simulating the wall, which basically goes across, it's only about 10 inches wide and goes down. So you can put that on there. Now this chest of drawers, does that come out fine? So this has got a slight lip here too. And it's the same thing. You've got the same problem there. However, this is not bolted down. So if it was to be bolted down, then it would perhaps be a little bit straighter. So let's put some weight on that and then just spin that round. Spin that round. Very little amount of force actually takes to turn this. It's actually quite light, it actually works pretty well. I'm just using a tiny piece of thinking. So how far out is that now? That's not bad. Try to look without getting my head cut off. But there is a lip out here of about so much. But to be honest, I'm not really sure what the problem is, why it's doing that. Now if I'm looking at it this side, if that's bolted down there, that actually seems quite straight. I mean, it's a straight piece of pipe welded onto a straight thing there. There's no slope in that, and yet it just comes in towards that. So, do I need to put another piece of metal underneath that and hold it on a tilt like that? But that just looks odd. Do I need to have it somehow coming out further? Possible. The other problem I've got, if I hold that there for a second, is that I screwed this up and didn't measure it carefully and didn't put 2 screws in smack in the middle there. With the result, put that there so it stops shaking. With the result, for example, that the distance here is quite small. Come on behind again. Like I said, the distance here is quite small, is okay, and then here it's enormous. This here is twice what this is. Some of them are actually quite narrow and some of them aren't. And as I go further and further and further out, it's just going to become more and more pronounced. Now I was planning on having extra pieces in here, shorter pieces. So a piece here out, and another one here out, another one here out. And yet, if I have it one here and one here, then they're going to look even more odd. But if I just have one here, then it'll probably be about the same, and yet, wouldn't that make it more unbalanced? And the more unbalanced it is, perhaps the more twists and things there are. And what else have I got? So it's quite... There we go. On the back of it, it's supposed to be this, which is supposed to go into that, which is supposed to go into here. Somehow. I was planning on putting on a plastic box then, with a piece of wood in there, cutting out the side and having that. Like I said, I was planning on having a plastic box here, bolt that on there, and put the motor inside onto a piece of wood, so that's coming out to about here. And that also means I can take that off, put it back on, and it's not getting rained on and stuff. But this is a 12 volt motor, 10 RPM, so I don't know quite how many RPM would get over that. I'm guessing about, what, 10 RPM, 1 every 6 seconds. So I got this motor and it's just not going to work. I mean, how the hell do you turn that? It looks like you need power going through before this will just start to turn, whereas I want to turn that and get power going out the other way. So do I just give it to him like that and say, well, you know, hook up a motor, go for it, mate. I don't have time to screw around with it anymore.